So, all right. So pretty much, what I'm really doing tonight is just the organ as regards to I don't know if you can hear it. Y'all can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. So like just the chords pretty much. Let me see. So how do I person with a Hammond with an organ? For those who asking me, what instrument? I'm actually on a VST called Acoustic Sample B5 organ software. You should consider using this. It's really good. It's really user friendly through Logic because I've made tracks through Logic using this as a VST. Um, like for me, when I approach the organ and then with purpose pitch, I think it helps. It pushes me more because with the organ deals with a lot of drawbars and a little more voicing different degrees of pipe use or whatever not. So, for example, I'm gonna do something real quick. So let me see if I can do it with this. Let me see. All right. So with the B3, you got 9 drawbars, right? So So first, the first one would be I'm gonna be in B for. All right. So this is your 16. This one. This is your 5 and 1/3, and your eighth, fourth. That's like fourth one, and then you have the next one, 2 and 2/3, two, and then you have your 1 and 3/5, 1 and 1/5, and then you have one. All right. Why I did that? Because you can definitely hear the frequency. You hear the different pitch. You notice how it's very different, and so forth. The frequency is very, the octaves and so forth. Is different and so forth. It's the same thing. It's just that it's just different pipes. You know what I'm saying? It's just replicating a pipe organ pretty much. That's the actually that was the original purpose of Lawrence Hammond, the one that made the Hammond organ. He was coming after the pipe organ, um, market and so forth. Now, back to the approach. If I'm in church and so forth, I like to use these drawbars sometimes to make it more mellow. Let me see here. So if I'm doing like, oh my bad. If I'm doing any type of praise and worship, let me see. See. One thing I always do, if you probably might hear, I always make my melody stick out because it's very important that when you're approaching any instrument that you're playing, your melody should stick out. Why? Because that's the main melody, main melody, main tune of the song, pretty much, and so forth. But you can definitely hear how the pitch and how the nature of it is just different. You know what I'm saying? So I use a lot of different inversions. So like, let me see, we give you all glory, we worship. Can use that. That would be like a C 13. So what I did, I hold like the D for my right hand, we hold like the D, the A, the F sharp, the D, and then with my left hand would be the B flat, G, E, C. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pull out one more of these drawbars and then let's see, make it a little bit much brighter. So you are where. One second. My bad. So I can. Uh, any questions? If any questions, y'all can come into the chat and you can stop me at any time. So as you see, I always make sure that my melody is sticking out, and then what I do with my left hand and so forth, I make sure that my chords are pretty much like of a choir. So like with the pitch, you have the soprano. So we give you all, that's the soprano, and then the altos. We give you all. So sometimes what I normally do is I play like a minor ninth. We pray, man. I can do. And then you can. That what I just did was like a relative minor movement. So like B flat. For you are worthy to be, and I'm doing something going to the sixth. And there's a question. What are the best movements? As regards to I improvise the chord. All right, say like okay, let me see. If I'm in B flat, let me see. Let me go in A flat. Let's see. Say if I'm doing like let me find an easy song. I'm overthinking right now. Let me see. As a new prayer for let me see. So just to make it, I'm gonna play it basic, and then the second row I'm gonna kind of improvise on certain stuff. So. All right, so let's improvise. Let me see. I can do you or you can do desire and I long to worship you and that. So that right there, I did a tritone. My right hand, when I do the C sharp, the fourth, in A flat, step down. So I hold an A, second inversion, on my right hand. So and then tritone for my left hand will be B flat, B flat, G and E. So you are my shield. And then sometimes I do a run like this. And then sometimes I do this. And then most of the like that run is just like I'm just doing a B flat, going up just beat, and that's a vocal exercise right there too. So yeah, that's how I do my improvising. Mike, and another to answer, I guess your question, when you're doing improvising, I listen to a lot of choir music. I listen to a lot of reason because that's where you hear a lot of chordal structure, different ears of it and stuff. So it's like the 90s choir music is different from the 80s, different from the 70s and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So it's totally different. And with that, it will enlarge your vocabulary, opens your vocabulary to a lot of stuff as regarding to voicings. Um and so forth. I do a lot of runs too. Let me see. Say if I'm in F. Um, so it's just a blues scale. What I do is like I start from the fifth, which would be C. With a F 13. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much I do all. Yeah, you good. It's just a lot of ways you can do a lot of improvising regarding your chordal structures and so forth. So any other questions? I hope I answered that question. Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Oh,
when
Nicholas.
you when you are playing your chords,
Uh
um,
huh.
what influences your direction? As in, well, your progression. Like, let's say someone asks about improvising with chords. What influences your direction? Would it be like where you are in terms of the bass notes, or would it be in real time where you're hearing something and then you're immediately influenced to go somewhere else?
Hmm. Um. Repeat the question one more time. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
heard it, but I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So the question, it's I'm asking what influences your direction. Let's say the song is a 1 4 5,
Okay.
for argument's sake, and and you you want to find a chord to go to. Would your next movement be based on the bass note of your chord, or would it be like based on what you're hearing in the moment, where you can go and exploring your different options of a four?
That's a good question for real. That's a really good question. All right. And I'm really excited to have the full organ tonight, so you could hear the bass of where I'm going. Sometimes I move by home my bass, like where I put my doing the bass pedal footing and stuff. Um, and sometimes I just like for example, I'm playing with TJ for a second. and he be doing a run like he was like, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so so I'll be like, you know, so it's
Okay.
just like a yeah. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, definitely. So what I got from what you said, it's based on
Mhm.
the influence of it depends on the moment, what's happening, the different
Right,
voices, how many persons are playing alongside you,
right,
and not necessarily just sticking to the rules of okay, this
right.
is what it is.
Right, because sometimes like again I'm gonna mention TJ because sometimes he just rub he be rubbing on me sometimes when he on guitar, and sometimes like if I'm say if I'm backing up the preacher, I'm gonna call him in a second so I can let y'all hear how we play together. So like say if I'm backing up the preacher and let me see back to that blue scale I was saying like somebody asked a question before, I'm gonna answer that real quick. I think that was Michaela. Yeah, I'm gonna answer that question real quick. So like for example, if I'm in F, you know the blue scale of F, you know that's good, but it's good when you like starting to switch up your voicings, like moving from the perfect, you know, using the perfect fifth right there, start on the C, or even the minor third. Ah, so you know, so I'm like, you know, that type of stuff. Let me see. Let me go back to the question of what Miss Michaela was asking. Please tell us about your professional development. Which conferences or events have you been to recently? Okay. Recently I had the opportunity and I recently played with a really good nine-piece band. At the time, Transformed by His Grace was a ministry. We used to play for Minty Days, play for, and Elder Ross. He was our chief of staff and our administrator at the time. I was surrounded with a lot of gifted musicians, and I think in that time we had about three or four persons that had perfect pitch because we had like a nine-piece band. We had a trumpet player, we had Jamario, we had Sean McNeil on saxophone. He has perfect pitch, and myself, and then TJ, then Uncle Ross at the time, and then we had Jordan on keys and so forth. So like them musicians can play. So it's like iron sharpening iron, you know what I'm saying? So it's like even like sometimes we doing let me see, give me a second, let me pull back my drawbars a second. So like if I'm doing what's that? Tell me what can I do? So that's an E. Well, that's an E. E. Well, I'm gonna do it in E flat. I think we did it in E flat. So tell me what can I do? Let me see. And then I can't live without you. Tell what can I do? I can live without you. And then I live without. And then sometimes like when it on my own, I can make. I on my own, and then there was a part like they were playing something, and then it's like with me, I was like, and then so that was a push for me. I had the opportunity to play with Bishop, um, shared Bishop Noel Jones, Bishop Blackwood, and it was a lot of experience. And one thing I will say this: if you're gonna be an organist, and you gonna be working with different bishops and pastors and all that, your ears got to be open to a lot of stuff, because all pastors don't preach the same way, and they respond to the organ differently, based on your approach. Like for example, like if I'm Bishop Noel Jones, I know his settings already, so he likes his organ beefy, like so, and he likes E flat, you know, you know, he like that type of stuff. Um, with Bishop McCormick, he's kind of related to the Baptist feel a little bit. So I'll probably like change my drawbars. Let me see. You know, that type of churchy feel. You know, that type of stuff. Um, and then one thing I will say too, dealing with different bishops, your ears become seasoned after a while. Playing, the B3 or the whatever model Hammond you play, because it's like they have a different approach, they have a different slur, they have a different feel, and then depending on the musicians that you're working with too, so forth. Also, like for example, like say you're doing talk music and flowing from talk music into deliverance or something like that. So like I mean C sharp. So, let me see. So talk music would like and I like doing this too. This is a tritone right here. And then if we want to go into deliverance, and then I just start pulling on my drawbars. All that type of stuff. And say sometimes like going from there, going into the prophetic, sometimes I have a tendency of going into the relative minor. I forgot the mode, and I think this has to do with one of the modes of what Mr. Elliott was talking about earlier. So same like still in C sharp, but I'm doing a relative minor, so it'll be like the C sharp would be the sixth of E, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, any questions? Let me see. Somebody asked a question. All right. Somebody said they have to go. All right, Jaden. Thanks for really supporting. Any other questions?
Let me see if I can find a question from this part of the presentation. Let's say you get caught in a situation where someone is singing, right? And you just vibe into the music. You feel like you want to go in now.
Right.
And the singer or whoever, singer or an instrumentalist starts to play something that might not be corresponding with what you're playing. What approach would you take to resolve that?
I think and that's a very good question. When if I'm accompanying any strange person, I mean like that, but if I'm gonna accompany someone that I've never known or know their feel before, I always play the safeguard. It's always, and I would say this to all musicians. Anytime I'm gonna say the Jamaica, if you play for somebody we don't know the first time, please keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. even if they're trying to make a mistake and it's not adding up to what you're going and you know it musically right, just try and make sure she cover them and embellish it, even though they know better still.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're dealing with somebody who's intellectual like you or inclined in music like yourself, but you don't know how they flow, you don't know their feel, and sometimes sometimes it will it happen naturally, like on the spot, you and them just start meshing. But there are some times that you are accompanying people, and it's best simplicity is the best. I ain't saying you're going to do the one. Not talk about that. Not talk about like just let me see. There is none like you, like you. No one else can touch my heart like you do. I could search for all eternity and find there is none like you. You can put in a little, little black chord
Yeah,
note
yeah,
and
yeah.
so forth. But this is when, like, if somebody said there is none like you, no, you want to flow with the person because at the end of the day, as an instrumentalist, you're playing, you are accompanying someone. You're not doing a solo, and even with doing your solos, again, melody has to be pointed out. It should be the forefront of any musical piece or um, anything musical that you're doing, so people won't be lost. Like, okay, what am I playing? I mean, I understand that. What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So let me pull out the strawberry real quick. So um, this you hear the chords going with the melody. If that makes sense. And then like so yeah. Any other questions?
Joel has a question.
Okay. Hey Joe, what's up?
Yeah, so I want to ask, you mentioned about the modes earlier. I didn't hear exactly what was taking place, but I want to know if I the Fijian mode.
Remind me again because I got lost. So I always say this to y'all too. When I play, sometimes I'll be playing some modes and all that, and then sometimes I forgot. I think let me see which song was it? What was the first song that I played? Let's see. You talking about this? You talking about that? That run like that?
Yeah.
So I do those based on where I'm going in the music. So say let me expound that on that so it can give you clarity. Say if I'm in E flat, so I'm doing the diminished going to the sharp, the sharp one going to the two, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, da, da, which is a 4 suspended fourth. Then go to the you can even go to the 2 or go to the flat 7 or and then with that I can just do the mode, all that, then you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll do something like this to kind of change keys. Like if I'm ending a song, like let me see, Great is thy faithfulness, Lord God, to me. So let me see. And this is a popular run too. Or you can do it.
Which scales are you using to do the runs?
Just this last one. That's a minor run. E flat minor. So E flat F, G flat, A flat, B flat, da 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 da. Or so I'm doing again. I'm moving like the runs that I did was an E flat minor. The first E flat my 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth. Yeah. You good. So like the first, like the run I was saying, E flat. Let me see. The relative minor, like because you're in E flat, you're going like you're going into the F sharp, going to the 5. You know, or and that's a C natural minor. And I did that when I'm going on the like if I'm playing the bass on the organ, that would be on the 5th of E flat. So with the E flat suspended, suspended 4th. You know, that's a sharp one right there. Yeah. So somebody asked a question, I think, before. Any other questions, guys? None? 2 more things and I think I'm gonna close. Let me see. Mr. Chris.
Pitchy, the great
Yes, sir.
Delroy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, you can take another 5 minutes and then we
Close out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. So let me see. Where I get one of my, as I said, I get my chords and runs from like choir music. So I'm like, let me see. We exalt thee, we exalt. We exalt thee. See. You know, stuff like that. Let me see. All that type of stuff. And you know, actually, this run is like in. If you listen to like Disney movies and stuff, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, those are. I've heard those runs in Disney collections, like you know, movies like Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast. So that's where I get my stuff, my chords from. I just listen to different just listen to different choir music, just music in general. But I always listen to where like records where you have the organ, knowing its place and so forth. And that I will probably talk in another interview, hopefully.
All right, Pitchy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Pitchy.
Yes, sir.
Delroy White. I respect your energy and enthusiasm
Appreciate it.
to
Appreciate
share,
it.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
it was a pleasure having you, TJ, and Mr. Ross
Yes, sir.
on the Music Hacks Network.
All right.
So we are looking forward to the big shed.
Yes,
You
sir.
know I'm going to call it a shed, right?
Oh Lord Jesus.
The next
I
2 weeks. So you're
think Mr. Adil raised his hand not to cut you, Mr. Chris.
oh Adil,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Pitchy, what's up?
Well, go on, Professor.
There, man, there.
Of all keys and voices and all that.
But just that I wonder, for a
Yes, sir.
person like you have perfect pitch.
Mhm.
Well, you do. I mean, you never live your life at any point to just relative pitch. Um, do you use any more than the other?
Wait a minute, say it one more time because I didn't get it.
If you
Sorry.
use you find yourself moving to relative pitch more than perfect pitch. I mean, when you're assessing music or playing for somebody or any.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Based on, like, for example, like the relative minor movements I did recently, just moments ago. No, not really. No, I just hear it. And if you notice with these music, I'll say this real quick before I let you go. Most of these music, they're like pretty much going in the relative minor movements with the organist and so forth. So it's like, with the C. Or so all that type of stuff. So I wouldn't say that. I just use my perfect in that because once I hear the relative movement, I already know. Okay, we're going from there. And the thing is, I always say this like for gospel musicians. Always, it's good to know your number system. It's good to know your number system and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So, that plays a lot into relative minor movement. But for me, as regard perfect pitch, no, I still use my perfect pitch. I can't move into relative pitch because I don't know how to manifest in that gift, unfortunately. Well, not really. I mean, I'm good with perfect pitch. So,
All right, man.
yes, not bashing. I mean, if you got relative pitch, God bless you too. But I just go perfect because I mean, I just being absolute, just to like, hey, But I understand what you're saying, though, Mr. Audio. Good question on that, though. Yes, sir.
All right, awesome.
All right.
All right, Adil,
Yes,
we see you the 11th of February.
11th of February. All right.
All right, sir.